Indian motorcycle has just been sold off. No, it's not clickbait. I have all the scoop for you, all the information that you're gonna want to know about this interesting news. So it is October 14th, the day after the announcement was made by Indian Motorcycle. So in today's video, we're gonna digest everything that I know so far. Got a lot of scoop on this story right here. We're gonna go over all the key facts, a little background on Indian Motorcycle, a little background on Carowwood, which is Indian's motorcycle new majority stakeholder, and a little bit on Mike Kennedy, which will be the new CEO. It's funny how both of America's great iconic motorcycle companies have two new CEOs. Kind of 2026 is shaping up to be a bit of a year. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock, you know that Indian Motorcycle was owned by Polaris. They revived the company, they pumped a bunch of money into it, and we have seen a lot of cool things in the past few years. I'm a huge fan of what they've done with the company so far. They pumped out a lot of cool bikes in the past few years. Despite of what you may hear out there, Indian has done a lot of cool stuff, and it's kind of pushed Harley in a way to start innovating a bit more. Competition is always good. At the end of the day, the ones who win is us, the consumers. So in the past few years, Indian Motorcycle has pumped out one of my favorite bikes, the Indian Sport Chief, which is a really, really cool bike. I've spent a lot of time in that bike. It's classic looking. It's punching a ton of torque. Looks great. Has a bunch of tech on it. Runs great. Feels great. Just a really cool bike. The Indian Challenger is another phenomenal bike. The new Scout is a great entry-level bike. Now, I gotta be honest, those are the only three bikes that kind of draw me to Indian, that kind of catch my attention. I really don't care too much about the rest of the bikes on their roster. I just don't. Indian Motorcycle is now a standalone company. It's no longer run by Polaris. But interesting enough, Polaris still has a small margin in the company. They still own a small percentage, which in my eyes is pretty interesting. So it's not like Polaris kind of unloaded the company, they sold it off for whatever reason. A lot of times you see these companies come in, they'll reshape a new company, they'll pump it up, they'll make it look real pretty, and then they'll unload it, they'll sell it off. But Polaris didn't do that. They just sold the majority share of it, but still held a small portion of it. Which, what that tells me is that they still believe in the company. So it's not like they unloaded it because it's crap. So that to me was like it was a real eye-opener. I was like, okay, well, what are we doing here? They sold the company, but they still want to own a small percentage of it. And there's probably a reason why, and it's because they still have faith. They probably still think the company is going to be successful in the years to come. And they don't want to miss out on that. Who knows? Maybe they want to take that money and buy something else, get into another company. Now, Carowwood is to acquire majority stake in new independent Indian motorcycle company. The deal is expected to be finalized in the first quarter of 2026, so we're right around the corner from that. Seasoned industry leader Mike Kennedy, brought on by Carowwood's operating partners, and will take on the role of India's motorcycle CEO once the deal is final. We'll talk a little bit more about Mike Kennedy down the line. Polaris will maintain a small equity position in India's motorcycle after the transaction closes. Approximately 900 employees will transition from employment with Polaris to the new standalone Indian Motorcycle Company once the deal is final in Q1 of 2026. Indian Motorcycle will retain the majority of its current team, including engineers, designers, and staff, along with manufacturing resources, manufacturing facilities in Spirit Lake, Iowa, and Monticello, Minnesota, as well as the Industrial Design and Technology Center in Bergdorf, Switzerland, will transition to the new standalone motorcycle company as part of the deal. So basically what that is telling you is that everything is still staying the same, everyone's keeping the job, just new ownership, with new leadership. Now let's talk a little bit about Carowwood, which is Indian's new owner. A little bit of the background. Carowwood is an independent multi-strategy private equity firm based in Los Angeles, founded in 2014. Seems like everything in this world right now is just owned by private equity, BlackRock and State Street, which BlackRock also has a small ownership in Indian Motorcycle. Big ownership in Harley as well. Pretty much a big ownership in everything in this world. The firm's objective is to acquire a diverse portfolio of assets with long-term growth opportunities. Carowwood has specifically designed its approach and infrastructure to support scaled corporate subsidies. Carowwood has invested in consumer, industrial, media, and technology companies with a focus on business revenue between 50 and 500 million that are poised to grow. Carowwood is focused on a long-term investment opportunities. They have never sold an asset they acquired. So that's pretty interesting. So pretty much everything that this company gobbles up, they keep. It's not like they're buying, reshaping, flipping, and selling. They're keeping it in-house, which sounds really good for Indian Motorcycle because they're not just buying it to chop it up. They see longevity in this. Now let's talk a little bit about Mike Kennedy, which is going to be the new CEO of Indian Motorcycle. Mike Kennedy previously served as CEO of Rumble On, the nation's largest power sport dealership group, and Vance & Hines, a leading manufacturer of high-performance aftermarket motorcycle exhausts. At Rumble On, he reshaped the company's retail strategy and operations. Prior to those roles, he spent 26 years at Harley Davidson, ultimately serving as vice president and managing director of America from 2010 to 2017. So here's a guy who has a lot of experience in the motorcycle industry. I like this right here. I like this a lot. Very different approach from what Harley Davidson took with their new CEO, which came from Topgolf. A lot of outcry, people wanting someone with a motorcycle background. Here is this guy. That's all I know about this guy right here. I don't know anything else. I've never met the guy, so this is just little key points. But it's good to know that he has been in the motorcycle industry for such a long time. Really good that he worked for Harley Davidson for a really long time as well. So that's a really good background to have. Indian Motorcycle could be onto something right here. With great leadership, new ownership, maybe some new funds. Who knows what this company has in store for Indian. Let's see what type of funds, what type of budget they're gonna have in order to promote the company when it comes to marketing, strategizing, and maybe new products to come as well. All in all, I think I see this as a big positive for Indian. I think it's a good step for them to kind of put their foot up ahead and just not kind of be under the Polaris umbrella so much. Like I said before, Polaris is still going to have a small stake in this, but Indian, yeah, man, Indian standing alone once again, man. It's interesting. What do you guys think about all this? Do you guys think it might be a good strategy for this? Or do you think that Indian should have just remained under Polaris and, well, I don't know. I don't know. I think if they would have maintained themselves under Polaris, they might have gone down the same rabbit hole that Victory did, which wasn't a good one. We'll see, man. We'll see. I think this is good. I think this is good for the motorcycle community. This is good for an American motorcycle company. This is good for competition. Really good. Really eager to see what's to come from Indian in the next year or two to come. Will we see a huge resurgence of Indians on the road? I don't know. Only time will tell. Anyways, drop your thoughts and your comments down below. If you guys want to see more interesting and breaking news like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell button to notify you anytime I upload any type of new content. And like always, guys, let the force be with you. Ride safe and enjoy the ride, baby. Peace.